Elon Musk officially acquired his AI company xAI and merged it into SpaceX, creating a vertically integrated monster valued at a staggering $1.25 trillion. Now, for those of you holding Tesla stock or looking to jump into the upcoming SpaceX IPO, this isn't just a business update. You see, this is a tectonic shift in the history of capitalism. We are witnessing the birth of a company that doesn't just make products, it owns the literal infrastructure of human intelligence. So let's talk about what just happened. On February the 2nd, 2026, Musk published a blog post on the SpaceX website that read more like a manifesto for a new civilization. He confirmed that SpaceX has acquired xAI to form what he calls the most ambitious vertically integrated innovation engine on and off Earth. Now, his own words were, "This marks not just the next chapter, but the next book in SpaceX and xAI's mission, scaling to make a sentient sun to understand the universe and extend the light of consciousness to the stars." That sounds insane, and I love every single word of it. Now, this isn't just your typical Elon let's go to the Mars talk. There is a cold, hard economic reason for this. The world is hitting a wall with AI. Terrestrial data centers are becoming impossible to sustain. They use far too much land, far too much water, and they are literally breaking the power grids of major nations. And to understand why this merger is so brilliant and terrifying, you have to understand the compute bottleneck. Right now, every single AI company from Google, Meta, and OpenAI is fighting for the same thing, and that's inference chips. Now, these chips are the brains that process your questions and run robots. I don't just analyze these supply chains, I actually invest in them. So if you want to see my current semiconductor stock portfolio and my tech strategy, check out my verified public portfolio on eToro's investment platform via the link in the description. AI spending is predicted to increase over 60% in 2026 alone. So this is the time to get involved. So by the year 2030, we will need 1,000 times more compute than we have today. On Earth, that means building thousands of massive heat-spewing warehouses. My solution is Orbital Data Centers. This is starting to sound like a sci-fi movie. I love it. Space offers three things Earth cannot. Firstly, infinite 24/7 solar power. In Sun's synchronous orbit, it's always sunny. You capture 1,400 watts per square meter without any clouds, any nighttime. So it's constant. Second, you have passive cooling. Space is near absolute zero, so 3 degrees Kelvin. You don't need fans, you just radiate heat into the void. It's the ultimate free cooling system. And third of all, there are zero regulations. There's no environmental impact studies, there's no local power grids throttling, and there's no NIMBY, which actually stands for Not in My Backyard protesters. You're not going to have any problems there. And Musk did state in his memo, global electricity demand for AI simply cannot be met with terrestrial solutions. In the long term, space-based AI is quite obviously the only way to scale. Let's talk about the part that's going to potentially affect your brokerage account. While SpaceX is merging with xAI, Tesla just dropped a bomb in its Q4 2025 financial report. Despite a little bit of grumbling from the shareholders, Tesla has officially invested $2 billion in xAI. So since SpaceX now owns xAI, this means Tesla is now a major stakeholder in the SpaceX empire. But why would a car company do this? Well, that's because the car company is kind of dead. In one of the most significant pivots in corporate history, Musk announced that the production of the legendary Model S and Model X will cease to exist at the end of Q2 2026. But those assembly lines are not going quiet. They are now going to be repurposed to produce 1 million Optimus humanoid robots per year. It is officially a sci-fi movie. It's insane. Think about the synergy here. SpaceX launches the rockets and provides the orbital data centers. xAI provides the brain, which is Grok, that runs on those orbital servers. Tesla provides the body, which is Optimus, and the massive manufacturing scale. And then you've got X, otherwise known as Twitter, I'd rather call it Twitter, that provides the real-time data to train the whole system. It's essentially a closed-loop monopoly. One man owns the data, the brain, the body, and the transport system to get them into orbit. Let's take a little look at the numbers reported by Reuters and Fortune as of February 3rd, 2026. SpaceX is to be valued at around $1 trillion and xAI to be valued at around $250 billion, bringing the combined total to around $1.25 trillion in valuation. So this merger makes SpaceX the most valuable private company in history. And to put that into perspective, it is now worth more than the entire market cap of almost every legacy automaker combined. And the best bit is that the SpaceX IPO is rumored for mid to late 2026. Analysts at Bloomberg are estimating the IPO valuation could potentially touch $1.5 trillion or more. So if you're a Tesla shareholder, you're currently holding the golden ticket to what could be the largest wealth creation event of the decade. Now look, I am a fan of innovation, but we have to address the elephant in the room. This much vertical integration is unheard of, and there are risks. First of all is the regulatory fury. The European Commission and Ofcom are already investigating X over Grok's uncensored AI image generations. So when you combine that controversy with a company that literally launches national security satellites, the government is going to have some opinions. The second is the Elon keyman risk. If something happens to Elon Musk, which I hope it really doesn't, does the whole sentient sun vision collapse? This isn't just a business, it's a cult of personalities centered on a single engineer's brain. He is the lifeline of this whole thing. And third, space debris. Launching a constellation of around 1 million satellites, which is Musk's words, sounds great until you realize space is already getting pretty crowded. One major collision could set the whole timeline back a decade. However, the bulls are not worried. Mark Bodgett, CEO of 𝗟𝗘𝗧'𝗦, told Reuters, "This is the strongest validation yet that space will be the backbone of the next wave of AI." Now, why merge xAI and SpaceX before an IPO? Well, it's about capital efficiency. You see, by folding them together, SpaceX can present a narrative of space as a service for AI. They aren't just selling rocket brides, they are selling compute. This simplifies the story for public investors. Instead of buying into Twitter data or rocket fuel, you're buying into the utility company of the future in space. And as AJ Bell investment director Russ Mould noted, others may buy into Musk's grand vision of data centers in the cosmos. This may only whet the appetite ahead of what could be the largest IPO of all time. I'd like to repeat that, of all time. So whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny the sheer audacity of what is happening. Musk is moving the most resource-intensive parts of our civilization, which is computing and energy, into the world of space. And if it works, that means he is not just the richest man on Earth, he is the landlord of the solar system. And if it fails, it is one of the most expensive fireworks shows in history. So what does this mean for you, the Tesla investors? Because you are now an AI and robotics play. The EV days are over. Your value is now tied to the success of Optimus and the xAI integration. So if you're a beginner investor, just watch for the SpaceX IPO news. This will be the one that everyone is talking about. If you're an intermediate investor, just watch for the Starship Flight 12 results, which is happening on March the 9th, 2026. If they achieve rapid reusability for the V3 satellite dispenser, the Orbital Data Center plan becomes a physical possibility. Elon says he is trying to extend the light of consciousness. I just hope he remembers to leave a little bit of room for the rest of us. So what are your thoughts on the merger, and what are your thoughts on Musk's ambitious plans? Leave your comments below. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this one. Take it easy. Peace.